Hello, my friend, and welcome to episode number 116 of PCOS Mindset Coach podcast. And I'm here today. We're going to talk about gut microbiome and PCOS. Now, I am actually creating a series, a 10 episode series, which is going to be like 10 minutes each, which is basically a startup guide for people who are going to work with me. Because anyone who works with me, I don't want to spend their sessions in me teaching them. I want them to just like listen to my content, which I'm teaching, understand that, and then we directly go and apply it. So I already have enough content here on the podcast, but then I'm creating a new crisp series with my freshest brain, with whatever I know, and it's going to release soon. So stay tuned. It might be on a different name. It might be under a different name. It might be on YouTube as a different playlist. It might be as a different podcast completely. So stay tuned. I'm going to announce that soon. Now, a quick update about me. It's raining here today in Abu Dhabi. It's April of 2024, and it rains in the mid-April, 16th April today. And it was crazy today. Like I was coaching here, and if you are on a video, you can see this light over here. It was dark at 9:30 a.m. It was like pitch dark. That has never happened. I've never seen such a weather in Abu Dhabi, and I missed it all because I was coaching. I was like, oh, I wish I could just like feel the terror by being outside. I couldn't. And so was my husband. He was working too. My kid was busy playing while the nanny was busy cleaning. So nobody really got to enjoy the terror of the weather. Anyway, it's cleared out now. It looks like it's going to rain a little bit, but if you are on my Instagram, you can see that in my stories. But I guess this episode might release on Thursday and you might not see it. Anyway, in case you're not on Instagram, please get on Instagram so that you can see what I'm doing, what I'm up to. I come on and off on Instagram, not very consistent, but I'm always working on being consistent there because you guys are all there. All right, let's start with gut microbiome and PCOS. And this is something which was not taught to us while I was becoming a doctor. Like in our first year medicine, we were taught carbohydrates, proteins, fats. That's it, and vitamins and minerals. So these were like the essential things that we learned in our biochemistry in the basics of medicine. That's all that we learned. We didn't really learn nutrition. But then by the time I reached my internship, I started noticing that doctors were giving something called as probiotics to our patients, like especially internal medicine doctors, gynecologists, as a supplement when like there is an overpowering of yeast infections or like whenever they are giving antibiotics, lactobacilli would be like supplemented. And that's where I understood like there is something called as good bacteria. And then when I learned more, I'm talking about outside of medicine, after I finished becoming MD, while I was practicing, new molecules would come and the pharma company would promote it to us. They will educate us about things like lactobacilli. And I was like, okay, that seems interesting. And I would sometimes give it to the patients, but then I would also be emphasizing on like not trying to like heal yourself internally instead of just taking supplements. And even now in this episode, I'm not ever going to tell you to take supplements because that's not something which I like purely because I don't like to take a pill. I don't like to take anything which is not tasty. I just like, no. So in this episode, you're going to learn about natural ways to improve your gut microbiome, right? So, we are going to talk about something that affects all of us, but might have special significance if you're dealing with PCOS, and that's the health of your gut microbiome. So, before we get started, I want to remind everyone that while we discuss health related topics and offer solutions and suggestions, always consult a healthcare provider before making changes to your diet or health regime. especially if you have specific health conditions like PCOS. Like, always have a doctor on board who's evaluating your specific case, because even if I'm telling you things here, you might have something completely simultaneous going on, and you don't want to miss that. So let's dive into our today's topic: gut microbiome. Gut as in GI tract, from your mouth to the bum hole. The whole pipeline is the gut. This amazing ecosystem, this gut, gut, the lining of the intestines, the first layer, has an ecosystem of microbiome. Basically, a lot of bacteria, fungus, viruses exist in this lining. Inside of a digestive tract, it's populated by trillions of microorganisms. These are tiny creatures which play a huge role in overall health, from helping us digest food to influencing our immune system and even our moods. I did not learn any of that in medicine. And that's purely because, like, science keeps evolving so much. I mean, I studied medicine in 1998. So from then to now, 2024, so much has evolved. We keep on staying updated as doctors. But then there's so much information which is happening on the side. Like, even as a doctor, I didn't learn this. Like, if I was a practicing gynecologist, full-time practicing gynecologist, I would still not learn this. This is something which I learned on the side just out of curiosity. So for all those managing PCOS, understanding and nurturing your gut microbiome would be the key to balancing hormones and improving symptoms. So how does this work? Well, a balanced microbiome, a balanced ecosystem of organisms, good bacteria, it will help manage inflammation. It will improve insulin sensitivity and even modulate hormonal levels, all of which are crucial in managing PCOS. So there are two type of things that we can eat, two type of food items which can promote the health of this gut microbiome. One is prebiotic and the other one is probiotic. So pre and pro both play important roles in promoting gut health, but they function in different ways. So prebiotics. So we'll first talk about probiotics. Probiotics are nothing but organisms, live organisms, typically bacteria or yeast, that are beneficial to our health, particularly our digestive system. These are good bacteria that help the gut keep the gut healthy by balancing the microbiome, aiding in digestion, and potentially boosting immune system. Probiotics are found in fermented foods like yogurt, sauerkraut, kefir, and supplements. Now, apart from this, there are probiotics even in things like idli. If you are having idli, idli is an Indian delicacy, a South Asian food where rice and one lentil called urad is basically soaked and then ground, and that batter is kept for an overnight fermentation. Like, I tried it the other day. I really suck at making my own because the store-bought idli batter would have soda in it, and I don't want to have soda. I want to have the good bacteria. So I tried to make my own, and it was recommended 8 hours of fermentation, and it didn't become fluffy. I was like, oh my God, this sucks. I was like, let's just keep it for more for fermentation. And I kept it for another 12 hours for fermentation, and it was like soft and spongy. I was like, oh my God, this thing works. I could just like live like this forever. I was so excited to have all this good bacteria. And then I was like, okay, how can I try to make it even better? And what can I do more? How can I have this? Like, I love idlis. I love dosa. I love all of that. And I just got to know that, I used to think that anything which is flour is like really bad. But then if you club it with a protein and fat, good fats, the insulin spike is not so much. And I was like, this is amazing. I could have so much chutney because I love chutney. Chutney is basically like any sort of pesto where you just like, I use generally coconut because coconut has so much fiber, good fats, coconut, and put some peanut and some anything that you want in it. And then it just becomes this amazing thing, like a dip. And it goes amazing with your idlis, as long as you're not overeating it, because we can tend to overeat it. Anyway, apart from that, apart from the fact that it's in yogurt and sauerkraut, kefir supplements, I'm going to talk more about it. But apart from the gut microbiome, these things are really good for your vaginal flora as well. Just like how we have a gut microbiome, we have a vaginal microbiome, which is like so tightly controlled by our hormones. But PCOS women, generally, because they don't have that ovulation, that is a bit imbalanced. So you can supplement your diet to take care of these good bacteria. We have bacteria on our skin as well, by the way. So that's why we don't like wash it too much. We don't try to remove it like hand. We everywhere there are good bacteria which are like serving a purpose. So that was probiotics. They are basically just live bacteria. Then there is prebiotics, on the other hand, are type of dietary fiber that serve as food for these beneficial bacteria. These foods, they help promote the growth and activity of good bacteria in the gut. Prebiotics are not digested by the body. Instead, they are fermented by the gut microflora, helping to nourish and maintain healthy gut environment. Now, prebiotics are found in foods such as banana, onions, garlics, leeks, asparagus, and whole grains. So these are basically fiber which is not going to be digested. It's just like moving along, right? So in summary, while probiotics are live bacteria, beneficial bacteria, prebiotics are the food that helps those bacteria thrive. Together, they support the gut microbiome and overall health. So the next question is, why is it important to support gut microbiome? Now, supporting the gut microbiome is crucial for several aspects of health. And here are some key reasons. Number one is digestive health. A balanced gut microbiome helps in efficient digestion of the food and absorption of nutrients. It also plays a very crucial role in preventing illnesses like constipation, diarrhea, and irritable bowel syndrome. And I don't think so. I've made any content around constipation and diarrhea. Like, I have, like, once I do this work on my own, I have so much insight about bowel health per se. And I'm going to definitely make some videos on that. But constipation is basically when you can't poop for like more than 3 days, or diarrhea is when you're pooping more than 3 times a day. And irritable bowel syndrome is just like you're constantly pooping after, like, it's just like so much controlled by your anxiety. The anxiety makes you go have a bowel movement, and that, like, some people have it as a constipation as well. So I'm not an expert in it. I'll just say that, but I have some insight, and I'll gather some more information and I'll make something for you guys so that you can learn something from this. So it's this gut microbiome is going to ensure that you have a soft bowel movement. If you've had it, you know what I'm talking about. So the second thing why it is important to have a healthy gut microbiome is because it provides immune system support. About 70% of immune system is housed in gut. Now, in case you don't know what is immune system, like, all the whole body, like there is a central nervous system, there is a cardiovascular system, which is heart and blood vessels. There's a peripheral nervous system, which has nerves. There is a respiratory system, which is lungs. There is a excretory system, urinary tract, which is kidneys and bladder. And then there is digestive system, which is basically food to pump. Apart from that, there's something called as an immune system, which is basically a collection of cells which come into the picture when there are germs inside your body or there is any sort of attack which is happening. This is the system which actually keeps us alive, because something like HIV or AIDS is when your immune system is gone, and that's why you die, because your immune system is not able to fight off. There is an autoimmune, what is it? acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Oh God, AIDS has been like, it was such a big deal when I was becoming a doctor. Now it's under control. Anyway, so that's what happens when your immune system is gone. Diabetes is something which messes up the immune system. Being a child, old age, pregnancy, all of these things can affect your immune system. And uh, we want this gut microbiome, like especially for PCOS who are pre-diabetics. If you have a good immune system, gut microbiome, you will have a strong immune system. So it's important that you can start eating food which will actually strengthen your immune system in your gut. Number 3 is mental health. Mental health. There is something called as a gut-brain axis, and it is a well-documented thing wherein the digestive system is connected with your brain. So this happens like it's connected in many ways. There are some cells in the gut, and then there are some nerves which are connecting it. So a healthy gut microbiome has shown to influence mood directly in the brain and cognitive function, potentially affecting conditions such as depression and anxiety. Now, I don't know how it works because medicine keeps evolving, science keeps evolving. Everyone just comes up with a theory and proves it, and then, yeah, there is a proof. But what I think is, if you look at mind, right? Like if I know I'm eating something healthy, I don't feel guilty for having it. And then my overall mood improves. It's when we know that this food is bad and then I eat this food, and that's where the mood starts going down. So that's why it's so important to select whatever is your food, which you think is healthy, and you just eat that. And you would have to manage your mind, and I help people with that specifically on a week to week basis, where we like solve for all the battles where you want to eat healthy but you can't eat, and all the obstacles we solve in our coaching sessions. So if you're interested, please consider booking a call with me. But it is so vital that you get to eat foods that you think are healthy, right? Even when your mind is completely telling you, no, I don't want this, I don't want this, I want chocolates, I want chips. Even when your mind is doing that, it's so important that you give yourself a chance to eat something healthy. So because the mental health will be like so optimized if you decide to eat something healthy. Number 4, prevention of chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, obesity can be prevented with an improved gut microbiome. There is a lot of research around that. Reduction of vital compounds like gut microbiome is actually involved in several important compounds, including vitamin B, vitamin K, short chain fatty acids, which have a wide range of benefits on health, from supporting the gut lining to influencing gene expression and metabolism. Big deal. These are like really like, I genuinely don't care about what is happening inside. I just care about, are you healthy? Are you having any illnesses? And how do you feel? If you are feeling good and you are healthy as per you, that's enough. But if you're not, you need to change the way you eat, because PCOS women emotionally eat all the wrong things, and we need to correct that. So, coming to that, what is an ideal diet that supports gut microbiome? Now, an ideal diet should have diverse and rich in various types of foods that promote the growth of beneficial bacteria and ensure overall health. And here's an overall health guideline. Number 1, include diverse plant-based foods. Now, you don't have to become a vegetarian. You can continue to have your meat and your animal protein, but also include plant-based. A varied diet rich in different type of fruits, different type of vegetables, legumes, whole grains can increase the diversity of your gut bacteria. Each type of plant contains different fibers and nutrients that help benefit the microbial species. I had seen this one documentary on Netflix. I don't know whether it's still there. I don't even know what it is. In that, they said that our gut bacteria is like fingerprint. Everyone will have a different one. different flora, completely different composition. And there's so much research happening on that. Like all those people who are really sick, they need to have good gut bacteria. Now, the gut bacteria starts forming the collection of bacteria and viruses and fungi which are there in your lining, inside lining, that starts forming from your birth. And like when you have a vaginal delivery, you get your mother's bacteria. Then while your mother is taking care of you, like the breast skin, mother's hands, the food that mother is feeding with her hand, all of this will give good bacteria, because there is so much antibiotics given all these gut bacteria, lots of them die. So that's why these problems have started happening. So that's why it's important to not overkill these bacteria, but just like have more of it, right? You can have sprouts. They also have like a lot of gut bacteria. There's so much research talking about broccoli, like if that serves you, like not every food serves us. Like for me, I used to love broccoli. I used to have so much of it, and it just caused me so much gases that I just stopped. I was like, no, this is not worth it, because I don't know, something funny is happening in my system. So I just stopped broccoli. But I love broccoli. I can have a little bit of it, but I just lost interest in it. But it does have so much good products. So include a lot of plant-based foods. Second, include fermented foods, anything that is fermented, like yogurt, milk-based yogurts, or any type of yogurts, or kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, idlis, miso in your diet to introduce beneficial probiotics to your gut. These help to enhance the balance of your gut microbiome. So you need to trust your instinct about fermentation, because I would be like, fermentation means like bad, like mold, right? Like I used to think like that. But then even like beer, alcohol, it's fermented drinks, right? So you need to really balance it out and test it out, like if it really suits your system. Like for me, I love yogurt. I have had yogurt for an eternity. I want yogurt, like the sour one. I'll put salt in it. I just love it. Like every meal I have, I want yogurt, because yogurt just makes everything so much fun. I used to have a lot of that until I found out that I get nasal congestion from yogurt. I couldn't believe it. This was happening to me. So I stopped having yogurt. I'm so much better. My nose is like, freedom. I might reintroduce it again, but then right now I'm not having yogurt. But then I'm like looking at other things. Like till date, I've never had kimchi. Like I've had kimchi, but it's not like the authentic kimchi. Like the whole idea of having fermented vegetables is like, I don't think so. But I've had pickles in vinegar, which is not the same, but still there is some fermentation which is happening. So pickles are good too, right? Because they're like stored somewhere for a long time. Idli is something, if you like try making your own, or like have it in the restaurant, wherever. Like even if they're putting some soda in it, that's fine. You will still get some bacteria, because the whole process of making that batter, the sourness and everything, demands fermentation. So try it. It will help you enhance the gut microbiome. Number three is prebiotic foods. So I had read this study in which Americans, apparently the only healthy food that Americans were having was caffeine. Like they were having so much of unhealthy food. And so for those people, they're not even having any prebiotics, right? So, I mean, if you are already having some vegetables in your meals, you might be having prebiotics. So prebiotics are basically something which encourages good bacteria, right? So it is there in bananas. Banana has that fiber in it, which is not going to do anything inside your body. So have bananas, have onions, garlics, leeks. Like Indian cooking would be Asian cooking. Basically, we put onion and garlic in everything, except for like Jain community, they will not put it. But then, if you are an Indian or an Asian, you are having onions and leeks, you're good, right? So try to put more of it. Don't try to, like, not have onions. Have onions, it smells, but then it's good for your gut. And whole grains, artichokes, they all are good for your gut. These fibers are not digestible in your body, and instead serve as food for your gut bacteria. Next is you need to limit sugar and sweeteners. Just limit it. Have naturally found sugars instead in fruits, because um, sugar as a chemical molecule, like have sugar cane instead. It has so much fiber in it, right? Like I would like stay away from anything which is like sweet. Like I'll kid you not, I'm having this bottle full of this colored extract I have put, and it has this. I think it has sucralose or something. I'm not so sure about having that, and it's been 3 days. It's very tasty, that water, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to. So it's just like lying around there in front of me. I'm not drinking it because I don't know if it's going to affect my health. I would rather just have something which is like a fruit which was naturally produced in on earth, and I'm not going to do anything excess. Like maybe I'll have a sip of half a glass of it, but I'm not going to have it the whole day. Definitely no. So, high intake of sugar and artificial sweeteners can promote the growth of unhealthy bacteria and yeast in the gut microbiome. Reducing these can help maintain a healthy balance of gut bacteria. Now, remember, oats is whole grains. It will have lots of fiber in it, which can act as prebiotic. You can keep it as overnight oats. So then it gets fermented, and then you can add your sweet fruits in it. And that can become like such a good dessert, which you can like have, and you can even put banana in it. So it would be like, here you go. This is the magic potion for your gut microbiome. Like, can you imagine? Like, that one dish can take care of so much, and it can, like, you can really make it into a dessert. For it will be like not just a dessert for your taste buds, but also it can become a dessert for your gut microbiome. Now, the fifth thing that you need to take care of in your diet is polyphenol-rich foods. Polyphenols are plant compounds found in red wine, fermented, green tea, dark chocolate, olive oil, and whole grains. They are not always fully digested in upper part of your digestive tract and therefore can be metabolized by your gut bacteria, promoting good bacteria. So they can act as prebiotics, right? So polyphenol rich food, remember chocolates, olive oil, whole grains, green tea, red wine, a little bit. Next is lean proteins. Incorporating a moderate amount of lean proteins like fish, poultry, eggs can provide essential nutrients without overwhelming the gut microbiome. Plant-based proteins like lentils, chickpeas, and beans are also excellent. Healthy fats, they're crucial and are sources like avocado, nuts, seed, omega-3 fatty acids, fats from fish oil, algae support gut health by reducing inflammation. You need to understand you need these good fats because they're not inflammatory. Inflammatory fats are fried fats, like, anything that you're frying things in, where you see the smoke coming out, where the temperature is rising, the oil is oxidizing. Stay away from that because that is very inflammatory for you. I mean, I saw this one post about this guy said that French fries were worse than a cigarette. I was like, what the hell is this? Nobody knows what research he's doing. I don't know. But I know cigarette smoking is bad. And is it possible that a French fry can have that many compounds, especially that many inflammatory compounds, because of frying in seed oils, right? So everything in moderation. Once in a blue moon, French fries, okay, but don't give it to your kids. Don't have it yourself every day. No, not good. Stay hydrated. Drinking plenty of water has been shown to benefit the mucosal lining of intestines as well as the balance of good gut bacteria. Next is moderate alcohol consumption. Excessive alcohol can damage the gut lining, creating an imbalance in the gut microbiome. So, moderation is the key. Lastly, antibiotics and certain medications. While it's not a food, it is important to mention that antibiotics, which are sometimes found in non organically raised meats and dairy products, and certain other medications can severely deplete gut microbiota diversity and count. This is not even a joke. Antibiotic resistance is a bitch. because I have seen patients who would have these infections which just won't heal. Like in pregnancy, if you get stuck with a resistant bacteria, you can get a really bad pregnancy related urinary infection, which can not just harm your baby, but can kill you because that infection is spreading in your blood. Apart from that, there was this woman I had seen, she was pregnant. She had come with this infection of the nose. It was a cellulitis, and she had this MRSA bacteria. And she's like, it's releasing pus for almost 4 years. No bacteria works. She was a beautiful woman, and she was stuck with this. I was like, what the hell is this? And this is because of the number of antibiotics that doctors are giving. Do not take antibiotics just because your doctor thinks it's important. Question it. Um, most infections in the world are viral, and even if it's not viral, most of the time our body heals it. You might not need an antibiotic, but there are certain conditions in which you need antibiotics, especially if it's a bacterial condition. So your doctor will guide you. Like most up to date doctors would not give you antibiotics easily. Those who have like suffered with antibiotic resistance will never give. So um, till date, my daughter is 6 years old, and I would say that I must have given her antibiotic maybe like 3 or 4 times only. Whereas I have friends who are giving their kids antibiotics at least 3, 4 times a year. So I'm so happy that my kid is going to have such a good gut microbiome because I didn't give her so much antibiotic. So it is essential to combine good dietary habits apart from this, all the things that I said, which is basically, I'll revise it for you: diverse plant-based diets, fermented foods, prebiotic foods, limiting sugar and sweeteners, polyphenol-rich food, lean proteins, good fats, staying hydrated, moderating alcohol, and moderating or not having antibiotics if not required at all. These things, along with healthy lifestyle, regular physical activity, and adequate sleep, is really going to optimize your health so much. So, apart from this, I still had some questions which I want to share with you, which is like, does every food with fiber can act as a prebiotic? And not every food apparently containing fiber can act as a prebiotic, although many fibrous foods do have prebiotic properties. To qualify as a prebiotic, a fiber must meet specific criteria. Number one, it needs to be resistant to the upper GI tract. This fiber must resist absorption in the upper part of the GI tract, which is basically mouth, windpipe, food pipe, stomach, duodenum, jejunum, ileum, small intestine, basically. This whole place until small intestine, it should resist absorption. And after that is the large intestine. So that it should be. Then the second is a fermentation by gut microflora. This fiber must be a substrate that the gut microflora can ferment. So this fermentation process is crucial as it allows this fiber to be used by the beneficial gut bacteria as a food source. And third, selective stimulation. This fiber must selectively stimulate the growth and activity of beneficial bacteria that contribute to the health and well-being. So what are the type of fibers? If you ask, like basically there are two type of fibers. One is soluble fiber and the other one is insoluble. Soluble is basically most of the time prebiotics, like they can be used, the soluble fiber can be used to ferment by this bacteria because they dissolve in water to form a gel-like substance that can be fermented by the gut bacteria. And examples include inulin, beta-glucans, and fructooligosaccharides. Now, there is insoluble fiber. These fibers do not dissolve in water and typically pass through the gut largely intact. They are less likely to act as prebiotics, but are still important for digestive health as they add bulk and help prevent constipation. Important, very, very important. So, while many high fiber foods do support growth of beneficial bacteria, not all dietary fibers are equally effective in this role. The impact of fiber on gut microbiome can vary based on its chemical structure and how extensively it can be fermented by the gut bacteria. Maintaining a healthy gut microbiome through a balanced diet rich in fiber, probiotic, prebiotic can help in harnessing these benefits, promoting overall health and well-being. Now, as an Indian, we eat a lot of vegetables, but we cook them all. We don't eat them raw. So I used to always wonder, like, if I'm cooking them, most of the vitamin B and C is gone, like, which is what it is rich in. But you need to cook these vegetables, some of them, like apart from lettuce and all, you need to cook these vegetables so that the fiber is like can be digested easily, and you can still get some sort of vitamins from it, even if it's like most of it is gone. You will still get some of it, and it will give you that fiber which can act as probiotic, and those which are like insoluble, which that will act as a bulk. So you need the bulk for a good poop. Now, what can you eat to support gut in your PCOS life? So first of all, whole grains like oats and quinoa are fantastic because they feed good bacteria in your gut. So remember, overnight oats with some fruits will be amazing. Then there are vegetables like onions and garlic, which not only add flavor to your dishes, but are also power packed with inulin, which is a soluble fiber. That's a feast for this beneficial bacteria. And don't forget the fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, tempeh. They contain probiotics, your idlis and your overnight oats, the actual beneficial bacteria that can colonize your gut and help balance your microbiome. Lastly, fruits and polyphenol-rich foods like berries, dark chocolates, also great. They contain antioxidants that support healthy gut lining and overall gut health. While there are many foods that can help, there are some that might do more harm than good, especially if you have PCOS. So stay away from high sugar, heavily processed foods that can disrupt the gut flora, worsen inflammation and insulin resistance. So try to limit them. Apart from that, stay away from red meat if you can, and high fat dairy products. They might have negatively impact your gut if consumed in large quantities. So balance it out. There are some people who talk about red meat is amazing, but I would stay away from it because there is a lot of research which says that red meat causes colorectal cancer. So I would stay away from it. I don't even like it. And watch out for those artificial sweeteners. They can sometimes whack your hormones out of balance, alter the balance of your gut bacteria in a way that might not support you. So, integrating gut healthy foods into your diet doesn't have to be complicated. You can start small, maybe by adding a small serving of fermented foods, especially if you're not allergic to yogurt or stuff. You can have yogurt and then add it initially. Then you can have make it one meal a day, and then you can swap out something like a white rice with like quinoa. You can experiment with new recipes that include a variety of vegetables, and may start with a day with a bowl full of oatmeal and some top fresh berries. Meal planning is another great tool which I like specialize in. I help my clients with it, specifically plan foods that they love. That is the most important thing. You need to love that food and you need to step into the planning process because our brain will resist that the most. And prepping your meals ahead of time, like that is another smart trick. If you have nobody to help you out, prep your meals ahead of time so that, and especially if you don't have anything against food in the fridge, prepping your meals can help ensure that you have healthy, gut supporting options on hand when you need them, helping you avoid the temptation of less healthy snacks or meals. To wrap up, nurturing your gut microbiome by choosing the right foods can be a powerful way to help manage PCOS symptoms. Each small change you make can lead to improvements in how you feel and how your body functions. Now, you might have already known some of this information, but you have probably yet not applied it. I can help you apply it into action. PCOS is nothing but a manifestation of poor eating habits, and these habits are hardwired. I can help you manage your mind while you transition into new eating habits so that you don't do it just for 6 months, but you do it for life. So go to the link in bio and book a clarity call with me to see if I can help you. All right, my friend, that's it for today. I will see you next time. Bye bye.